Good afternoon. Welcome to my podcast. No one will come and save you, which I learned the hard way. Um, anyway, this is a podcast where we can discuss anything retirement and life after retirement. Life after retirement is not the end, it's just the beginning for me, and it was for me, and I hope it will be for you. It's the beginning of a new chapter. I'm your host, Lynn Barton, and we're going to talk about things that many people feel, but they don't want to say out loud when it happens. And retirement really does change everything. I have a lot of topics that I want to cover, and hopefully there'll be things that you can relate to, or things that I've gone through that might even help you get through your challenges with retirement. And there's one of the major things for me was the feeling of really being alone, and of course the lack of routine. And I used to sit at work and think, daydream about retirement and how wonderful it was going to be, how much time I would have to do so many new hobbies and meet new people, even travel. And I remember my mom and my two sisters, my two older sisters who were already retired. They would call my work, and I'd ask them, "Where are you guys today?" And they would mention some location and out to lunch or shopping or something. And I would think to myself, "Oh my gosh, I wish that were me. I wish that I were with them." And anyway, so yes, a retirement comes suddenly. You sit and I know you daydream about it, at least I did, but when it happens, you look back, and you're like, goodness, how the time just flew by. And uh, sometimes after retirement, you might feel peaceful, you might feel like, you know the quiet is peaceful, and then sometimes it's really lonely and confusing. And it takes a long time to figure out your routine, what works best for you. And the question for you guys, I don't know if it's the same for y'all, but did retirement feeling, or did it feel like you lost part of your identity? Which it did for me, because work was such a big part of my life and a big part of my identity. I related three-quarters of that, I think, to my work, and not really enough, I think, to hobbies. And so, anyway, and one thing that happened to me is I moved after we lost our dad. I moved from my hometown to another town to be with my sister, my youngest sister, and my niece and her baby that she had just had, who's now 3 years old, and twins joined them in March of this year. So I get to spend a lot of time with them, and I enjoy that so much. But you still have to make time for some hobbies. And one thing that I did find is I grew up with horses, and I found a horse farm here that has retirement home for horses, and they rescue horses. So I volunteer there 4 hours a week, and I absolutely love it. I get to be outside, I get to be with the horses, and it's just been an absolute deal changer for me. Absolutely. So I can't stress enough, find something that you really enjoy and volunteer. And sometimes it even turns into a part-time job. And that's really exciting because you have a little extra money, which we all need, that's for sure, in today's economy. Um, Finding a new, learning a new community, that was big for moving to a new town. Finding a new community, finding community, making community. And my niece's oldest child, who's going to be 3 in June, she is going to start school, daycare at the Baptist church. And they have a really beautiful little church in their downtown, and I'm going to start going there. And I think if you can find, churches are so welcoming. And, if it's not something that's for you, maybe it's a way to meet people and find things to do. Um, but it's been really great for me as far as meeting new people. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I went to the church. I was kind of, I went through a long period of loneliness and really trying to find where I could fit in or where I could provide some value. And I did lose my fiance 3 years ago. It was in 1922. It's been 4 years ago. And that was really hard. So I had a bunch of major life changes in a few years. And that was, when we get to this age, we're going to be dealing with loss so much. And it's really hard to get through, but I'm here to tell you that you do get through it, and time does make a huge difference, but you will get through it. As horrible as it is to lose someone that you're so close to, you do get through it, and there is life on the other side, and you do start to enjoy life again. It's different, everything is very different, but you do start to enjoy life, and it's exciting to do new things and meeting new people. So just note that you can get through it, because there's so many women I have met that are going and have gone through the same thing that I went through, losing someone, losing a spouse. So I'm here to tell you, you will get through it. Um, Another thing for me was losing that sense of familiarity, like your favorite grocery store. That's not very exciting, but those, when you have to change all those things, it does make a difference. But that loss of familiarity, uh, just familiar places, the history and the background that you have in a hometown, losing that was a huge hurdle that I had to face and get over and try and make new places. And the first one for me was Starbucks, hands down. I had to find a Starbucks. So I did. I did find one of those close to where I live, and so I make that maybe twice a week. I make that. I'll go and have a cup of coffee, and so that just kind of creates. And I found my favorite Publix, so it kind of creates your little routine or familiarity with places. Moving to a new environment, it's so hard. It's so difficult, but I've been here going on 3 years, and it's getting better. And it does get better. And you just have to The hardest thing is to get up and get out and do things. That's just the most difficult, but it does get better. I'm here to tell you. Really have to give yourself time and be lenient, with your feelings, and don't beat yourself up too badly. I have a tendency to do that. Like, I'm not doing things fast enough. I'm not getting familiar with things fast enough. I'm not doing this fast enough. And I had to give myself some grace and really, not beat myself up regarding whether or not I was on a path and doing things fast enough. So just give yourself some grace. It does get better, and let your you're going to feel invisible when you move to a new community, but give yourself time, and you will get to know people. And just start with one place, and don't overwhelm yourself with, like, picking out 10 places that you're going to go this month. Just start out with one, make it a routine, and then add a couple more that month, and it gets better each month. um, we covered a little bit on isolation and loneliness, and like I said, that's a big one, especially when you move to a new town. If you're in your hometown, not quite so bad, but you still have your acquaintances there, and you might have family, so that is not so bad. But at this age, starting over in a new town, that's difficult. I don't know if I would do that again. I think I might think about it a lot more, because you're giving up a lot, and familiarity, I think, at this age is a big one. um the things that I really had a hard time with, and these might be some of the things that you're dealing with, like, have after retirement, have people stopped calling? um are you at home too much, and have you lost interest in things? And there's nothing wrong with needing connection. That's just human nature, and we all desire it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Another hard one for me at this stage of life is making friends. Like I mentioned, going to the church, making friends after 60 can feel pretty awkward. When you're young, or even in your 30s and 40s, making friends, you have local spots you might go to, or you go out with your friends. So making new friends is, not really that difficult. But at this age, if you're not getting out, or you don't have some hobbies, it's very difficult to find new friends and make new friends. So I think the community of the church was big for me, and community centers. You can do walking groups. You can do book clubs. You can take a class. I'm signed up to take a pottery class. I always wanted to do that. And then there's always senior centers that you can look up, and there's local events. They have a little downtown here that's absolutely precious, and they do local events every weekend. They have farmers markets. If you crochet or knit, you can take some of your items to the farmers market and sell those, and that's fun. I've done that before. And I gave myself a challenge. I said, I'm going to speak to one new person this week. And I gave myself that challenge for a month, and it just becomes easier. It becomes a habit They say it takes 3 weeks to form a habit, and that's not very long, very much time out of your life. So try it, it works. Building the new routine. You have to have a routine, just like when you were working. I would get up at 5, I would go to work out, I'd go by Starbucks after that, and then straight to work. And I can't tell you how much that helped my mind. It's you wake up early, you feel like you've accomplished something, you work out, and it just makes you feel so good. Um, Needless to say, waking up at 5 o'clock after retirement is not something that I don't think anybody would look forward to unless you have farm chores or something. But um, the routine, you have to build a new routine. Get up, make your bed, set your alarm clock for the same time each day. Get up, make your bed up. First thing as you get out of bed, get dressed, brush your teeth, have your coffee, or whatever order you do that in, but make it a routine. Do it every day. And you'll find that even those little things help you mentally. They really do. Even even in retirement, you still need structure. You have to have structure, just life in general. And those little things helped me immensely. um the afternoons you can volunteer, like I volunteer at the horse farm. That, or work on a hobby. I crochet sometimes, or even lunch with a friend. I invite somebody new to lunch, and take a walk in the afternoon. Then in your evenings, you can relax, eat dinner, watch your favorite show, or work on your hobby, whatever that might be. If you journal and plan your day for the next day, plan your um, schedule for the next day. Those journaling has really helped me as well. That's another thing I do in the evenings, and it just really helps me get my thoughts clear for that day and for the next day. And then I look back in a few months and see where I'm at, and it helps you kind of keep track of your feelings and your emotions and see where you're at, and if anything needs tweaking, take that on and make that something that you work on. Self improvement. Buy some self improvement books. Those things help. Um, Senior advocacy programs. I'm looking into some of that where I can help seniors, some that need help to fill out paperwork for medical, their health, or any kinds of things that they might need help with. Paperwork. A lot of seniors don't use, or not a lot, but some don't use computers, and you can help them do that. You can help them, teach them the computer. You can help them fill out their paperwork, and they're so grateful for that. You would be surprised. They are just so grateful. Food banks. You can volunteer at hospitals, animal shelters. There's just a bevy of different places you can volunteer. Um, and now I have a lot of different segments that I want to go over with you guys, hopefully, to see if any of this would help you. And if you have any questions or you have any topics that you'd like to go over, leave them in the comments. I read all the comments, and I love reading the comments. They help so much. And um, there's a lot of good ideas in the comments, and I love to read those. Also, if you haven't already, click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and the like button. Those things help the algorithm and help you, get back to, or have things recommended to you that you have interest in, and just not a bunch of different things coming at you. Um, so I'd like to thank you. Now I'm going to end this segment and this podcast, I'm going to end it by saying, if you're here, thank you so much for coming and stopping by and taking the time to listen. I enjoy doing this so much. I found this, doing this really helps me emotionally. And hopefully, there's somebody out there that feels the same way and that might just come by this and give it a listen. But anyway, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.